Okay, I got a set of analog vacuum gauges in the mail today. I bought them on eBay. And I tested each one to see if they were all reading the same on one cylinder. Put each hose on this vacuum port to see where they all aimed. And this one and this one was not aiming the same direction. Like this one, you can see it's slightly down. But you can calibrate them by turning this screw in the front. And I was able to calibrate this one and this one to the zero, the beginning of the zero at the end of the red. Here, I'll do the same to that last one. Hold on a second. There, I got them all right at the end of the white, almost touching the red. Okay, so now I'm going to start it up. The reason I bought these gauges is because my mercury gauges last week, when I synchronized the carburetors for the first time in 2 years, they started drawing. They were all reading right around here. It doesn't matter what number it was, but they were all, I got them all right about here. Okay, then I blipped the throttle and I drew up water out of the reservoir down here for the mercury, and the mercury went up here. That's because water is not as heavy as mercury, so I didn't feel that the reading was reliable. So I bought a set of these today. I mean, they showed up today. Now I'm going to see what they're going to read here. Let's give her a start. Okay, you see that flutter? You have to turn these dampers, or else that's what you're going to get. You have to turn them in until you get the gauge to behave. That's pretty damn close. So my mercury gauges were accurate. They're all reading right down at the bottom of the red scale. So I was wondering, it was going to bug me until I did this. I had analog gauges, but I gave them to a buddy of mine. We were mechanics together, and some lowlife broke into his brand new shop, cut a hole in the roof, and stole all of his tools. He had a 6 foot tall, double wide snap-on tool chest full of tools, all snap-on, and they got all his tools. They might as well have just shot him, because he couldn't do anything without tools. But I gave my gauges to him. And I hadn't had analog gauges for a long time, so now I have a new set, and they're all balanced. Mercury is accurate. I got to get the water out of the mercury. I had the mercury, they were all even they were all pretty even, dead on in the columns. And then when I blipped the throttle, the mercury went way down and then it sucked water up when I let go of the throttle, and one of them was up here, this first one. The mercury was up here and the rest of them were down here. And what happened was mercury is heavier than water, and this column here got all the water in it, and it was pushing the little bit of mercury up. It just wasn't reliable, so I had to buy these. I had the bike up last Saturday, and it never ran that smooth. Not my first Venture, my 86 that I had for 16 years. Not my second Venture. It was the first one was a Venture Royale. The second one was a Royal Star Venture Midnight, and that was a 2002 or 2001. And that one, it just never ran as well as this one does. This is a 2008, and it was running so good on Sunday. I just, wow. I just touched the throttle. It felt like it was rolling downhill on all but the steepest uphills. It just felt like it was effortless for it to climb those rolling hills out in the countryside. It does make a big difference to synchronize your carburetors. And I'll show you what it looks like in the... Let me turn this light out. I'll show you what it looks like and where the adjustments are when you hook up your gauges. I didn't give myself enough room here. Okay. In there is where you get your carburetor adjustment screws. You can rotate the throttle and watch the linkage. Okay, you see that? That rod goes over to the other two carburetors. And like I said in one of my other videos, these are the vacuum gauges hooked up to where this went. But the balance screw for these two carburetors is right in here. That balances them on their bell crank where they both are attached. You can see the screw head right there as I rotate that, right in the middle. It looks like it has a spring around it. That is where you balance these two. And the place you balance the other two is, you get it from the right side of the bike. And let's see if I'm successful in filming it today. I can see it all the way across in there, that Phillips head. Let's see, get the light down here. I will put the screwdriver on it. You're just going to be in the way, I guess. But the screwdriver's on it. That is the screw that you balance the other two carburetors with. You can see the screw head in there. It's a Phillips. Okay, there's the two adjustments for balancing this pair together and then the other pair together. Then back on the other side of the machine, right above your choke knob, you see that flathead screw in there, that flat screw head? I'll put my screwdriver on it. Right there. I hope it's coming through on the camera. That is the one that you balance the two pairs together. That's the last adjustment you do. once you have your gauges hooked up and the bike warmed up, it should only take about a couple minutes to balance all 4 carburetors. It's only 3 adjustments. These 2 together, those 2 together, then the final screw right here, which is a flathead, that matches the 2 pairs together. And your bike will run so smooth. There really is not much to it. You can do it without removing the fuel tank and the seat, which I did the other day. I wanted to do some more work under the gas tank. Check things. But they're pretty simple to work on, these Ventures, which is why I love them. So that's it. That was a $30 free shipping set of analog vacuum gauges. And I showed you what the dampers do. You have to have dampers, or else the gauge will just flutter and it's useless then. And I showed you how you can adjust them, calibrate them all to each other. And then of course the way you can check to see if the calibration is right is you can check them by putting each hose on just one cylinder, one at a time, and seeing if you get the same dial location for each gauge, for each vacuum gauge when you put them all, and that way you can test them against each other to see if they are all going to give you the same readings or give you accurate readings. Anyway, lots of fun. We only have here in western Pennsylvania maybe I don't know, I don't know, it's around the 5th or 6th of October 4th, and it won't be long before we have nothing but cold weather. So you gotta get all your riding in now. My bike was running so good, after I synchronized the carburetors last week. This past weekend is when I got to go out all day, and it was running so good because of the I synchronized the carburetors with the vacuum, with the mercury gauges. So I'll see you there.